I'm here with Stephen Dorsey, co-founder of the Friends of Vic High. Stephen, what is the Friends of Vic High?
Hey Chris, good to be here. Friends of Vic High, we are essentially a group that was formed from former Vic High alumni who came to the school and other community members who are really advocating for the students of Vic High. So there has been an effort to try and take some of the land here for other uses, and we have been advocating for this land to be used for students for athletic facilities that essentially have been promised for more than a decade.
Okay, so who is taking this land?
Well, School District 61 has been working with the city and with the CRHC, and they first they wanted to take the land where the former Ferry Tech building was, which is a building that was adjacent to this track that was demolished over a decade ago, promised to be turned into green space or maybe another soccer field to replace one that was taken away by moving the Ferry Tech building. That never happened. It kept it's still a pile of dirt, and they now were looking to build some affordable housing here. Then we found out that they wanted to take more land for parking and then more land for what they call an 8-meter easement. So as a result of that, the envisioned project here for Merrill Stadium to be what it was fully envisioned is now not possible to happen.
Okay, so this easement with the affordable housing, how is that encroaching on the track?
Well, you would know, the original vision that was actually championed by the Victoria High School Alumni Association called for an 8-lane metric track to replace the track that's been here since the 40s and actually has been in disrepair for at least 60 years, so that the students could actually train and actually compete and even host meets here that would be standard and competitive. So that was really at the core, and then within that track there was going to be a multi-sport field for soccer, Vic High's traditional rugby, which was they were a powerhouse all the way up to the late 60s, and a turf field with lights, a clubhouse, and of course they were going to redo the Memorial Stadium, the stands themselves that were built originally to honor those students who fought in World War II.
So what sports will they be able to play on this shorter field?
Well, it's interesting. What's been proposed now is a 2-lane walking track. So I guess if you're into I guess there is an Olympic sport of walking, fast walking. I actually watched the final of that in the Tokyo Olympics. But to be kidding aside, it's a 2-lane walking track that really is not going to be any use for real competitive athletics. They've proposed a much smaller field, which will be only being used for soccer, and for some crazy reason, they want to put 4 beach volleyball courts in the back. Well, this is Victoria, and Chris, you probably know as well that beach volleyball is not actually a high school sport, and it rains, and it's not Southern California, right? This isn't Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Well, I wonder if they've written the criteria for uniforms and that the high school girls should be wearing bikinis on the beach volleyball court.
Well, I'm not going to touch that issue, but I think my position on that is that women should get to choose what they wear, and they should be responsible for their own decisions across the board.
So why aren't you working with the Alumni Association, or why aren't they taking this task on?
Well, great question. Thanks, Chris. Well, actually, when we started, we actually approached them. We wanted to work with them, and for some reason they were quite reluctant, and we weren't quite sure why. And then, and as you may recall, they were also still fundraising for the original vision that they had initiated, right? The original, which called for fundraising $7 million. The city got involved, and actually we're going to match $250,000. There was other organizations. The alumni had raised, I believe, $160,000. So that was just for phase 1, right? This was always supposed to be funded through donations and grants and so on. And so finally we realized that one of the reasons was they had behind closed door meetings with SD61, and their failure to raise more money led them to go to accept SD61's revised plan because they thought they couldn't get anything else. We disagree with that position. They're all good people, so there's nothing personal, but we disagreed with their approach, and we asked them to reconsider. And when it was clear that they didn't want to take that position, we decided to mobilize, because it seemed like we were going to be the only ones really advocating for the students of today and tomorrow, and that's what we've done. We've continued to keep the door open with the Vic High Alumni Association. They've stayed on their position, so we've moved beyond them and are advocating to the city, to the province, and we're still very hopeful that there's a win-win solution to be had.
Well said. And what can people do to help out the Friends of Vic High with this cause of building a proper, as promised, 400-meter 8-lane track and full-size rugby field?
Well, there's lots people can do, because the hearings at the City Hall to finalize their taking of the land doesn't happen until the fall. So people can contact their city councillor, contact their MLA, go to the Friends of Vic High on Facebook, check out all the information. We have troves of documents, and just get mobilized and lend your support. We also have change.org campaign. Just look for Friends of Vic High, and we'd appreciate support. And really at the end of this is, if you look at other schools in Victoria, you look at Oak Bay, for example, they have all the resources and support that students should have for educational needs, for athletic needs, to become and to learn and to feel that they're supported and to get them to the next stage. And there's no reason that the students of Vic High shouldn't have the same. It's been way too long. It's been over 5 decades that they haven't had that kind of support, and the Friends of Vic High are here to make sure, to do our part to make sure that they can get the equality that they deserve.
Thank you, Stephen, for all this. I appreciate it, and thank you for your time. And go to the Friends of Vic High Facebook page to find out more.
Right.
Yes?
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.